Hi everyone, my name's Martin Bohm. I'm an architect in the Centre of Excellence, and this is what's new in Teams Calling. This is a recap of the what's coming, what's new, announcements for Teams Calling, and this is a recap of last month. So this is October 2021 recap. So let's go and have a look at this. So we're going to touch on what's new in Teams Calling. We're going to do devices. We're also going to talk about the calling announcements from Ignite from last week. And we're going to have a look at some roadmap updates. We're going to talk about what's launched, rolling out, in development. And this is all around Teams Calling. So that leads us nicely into this. So these updates in this presentation are relevant to Teams Calling and Teams Phone. This is not a full presentation on what's new, what's coming to Microsoft Teams as a whole. This is the information in here is picked and is what is relevant to Teams Calling only. If you want to get, so the release dates, timings, information in here is all subject to change. The content is based from the Microsoft Teams blog articles, roadmap updates. So if you want the most up-to-date information, always refer to the Microsoft 365 roadmap, as things do change sometimes. So in highlights, we're going to cover what's new in Teams Calling, so touching on Operator Connect, calling plans, end-to-end encryption in public preview, some updates for Teams devices. So we've got some newly certified devices and a feature better together for calls on Teams phones and displays. And then there were some announcements from Ignite last week for some new innovations coming to calling, including Dynamics customer service, bandwidth control policies, updates for Dynamic E911 in the US and SIP Gateway as well. So let's go and have a look first. So we're first going to look at Microsoft Teams Calling. We've got three updates here. We've got information. Operator Connect is now generally available. Awesome. Calling plans, market expansion. So adding new markets to calling plans. And end-to-end encryption for one-to-one Teams calls has hit public preview. So let's have a look at each of these in a little bit more detail. So Operator Connect. So Operator Connect is another PSTN connectivity method for Teams Phone. And this allows you to bring a qualified operator or telecom provider into Teams Phone. And you can enable them with a telephone number from your qualified operator. And they can be used as the PSTN provider for Teams Phone, which is awesome. So now we've added, this was preview, now it's announced it's generally available. I think there's maybe 22 qualified operators. So there's a lot of badges, a lot of names on there that we've got there. We can see from BT, from Colt, NTT, Pure IP, Singtel, Telstra, Verizon. So across, I think around maybe 60 markets. And this is growing as well. So, and you can view all these operators inside of the Teams Admin Center. So that's pretty cool. So in the Teams Admin Center, under Voice, you can see Operator Connect or operators. And in there, you can actually have a look. You can search for an operator, look at where they've got availability, and then you can request their services as well. And when the operator can actually upload the telephone numbers directly into the Teams Admin Center, and you can assign those numbers to users. And that is an awesome solution. So that is, you can have a operator managed and hosted solution. So they could provide the PSTN connectivity, phone numbers, billing, also host in the image there, session border control as a service. So it is a managed hosted model with direct connectivity into the Teams Admin Center. And there's also, back in the details, there's direct network connectivity as well. So lots of benefits there from management, hosted management, offloading costs, benefits, support, reliability as well. So check out Operator Connect. That is now generally available. Calling plans. So there's market expansion again for calling plans, 5 new markets. So Croatia, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, and Slovenia. That is now bringing total coverage to 33 markets. So calling plans is expanding as well. So this is where you can have first-party calling plan authoring from Microsoft. Microsoft is the operator in this case. They can provide phone numbers, PSTN services, a full cloud solution, all configurable from the Teams Admin Center without any hardware in there. So now we've added 5 new markets in there as well. So if you're in one of those locations, lucky you, you can now use calling plans. How cool is that? Also, end-to-end encryption for one-to-one Microsoft Teams calls has now hit public preview. So this is for voice and video data for one-to-one Teams calls only. And this provides end-to-end encryption. But a note in here is both parties must have this turned on to enable end-to-end encryption. So go and check this out. There's some more information at aka.ns/e2ee. And to get some more information, you can see some screenshots there from the desktop client, on Windows 11, the mobile client. You can see when it is enabled on both parties, you can hover over and you can see some more information there. So there is some configuration that needs to be done. So once you've got the latest updates, IT admins in the organization will have the option to make this available to you. Both parties have to be in the public preview to use this, but go check it out. That is now public preview. So on to devices. 2 new certified devices from Jabra and the new feature with Better Together for calls on Teams phones and displays. Let's have a look. Okay, so Jabra the latest Microsoft Teams certified headset in the Evolve series is the Evolve 275. So there is some information there about it being groundbreaking dual phone technology, 8 precision placed microphones. Wow. Jabra advanced active noise cancellation, incredible sound quality. So there's some good features there, it looks like, and a unique ear cushion. Design lessens pressure and improves ventilation. All-day comfort and crystal clear audio. So that looks a great headset. So go check that out as well. So that's now a certified headset for Microsoft Teams, the Jabra Evolve 275, as well as the Jabra Panacast 50. So this is a meeting rooms device, provides you for hybrid work collaboration. Enables everyone in the meeting to see the whiteboard content, whether physically in the room or not, and all without the need for additional content cameras. So this seems to be an all-in-one device. Check out the Teams certified intelligent video bar, delivering unobstructed 180-degree field view. So that looks great whilst and sending whiteboard content. So whiteboard camera, and it looks like it's an intelligent video bar as well, giving you 180-degree field of view. So that's really welcome. So that's a good update for hybrid work and hybrid meetings in there as well. New feature, Better Together for Teams, Better Together for calls on Teams phones and displays. So this allows Teams devices to seamlessly integrate with your PC and bring a companion experience to a Teams phone and Teams display. So it allows you to answer calls, mute or mute, and end the call on either the device or the Teams client. So that's a nice feature to bring better together functionality into Teams phones and display. So now on to some of the calling announcements from Ignite last week. So Dynamics 365 customer service. This is going to be an all-in-one digital contact center that leverages Microsoft Teams. So there's lots of questions, lots of talk around this. So it'd be interesting to see some more information when this comes available. Bandwidth control policies to disable video calls when users are working in bandwidth constrained areas. That will be very useful. Kind of reminds me of Call It Mission Control back in the day. Updates, Dynamic E911 for US-based users and SIP Gateway as well. So some big announcements there of what's coming. So first off, Dynamics 365 customer service. So this is a new all-in-one digital contact center solution. This is going to be powered by Microsoft Dynamics 365 customer service and Teams. It's going to bring traditional contact center, unified communications, and customer services capabilities into a single integrated software as a service SaaS solution. Wow. So if you're using Dynamics 365 customer service, looks like you will be able to add on or make this your contact center, all-in-one digital contact center solution. So that sounds pretty awesome. Be interesting to see and get more information on this as it comes through. With this small invitation, you'll be able to deliver chat and voice connectivity, extensibility with other business apps, and intelligence embedded at every step of the customer service experience. So an all-in-one SaaS solution, including contact center. Wow. Bandwidth control policy. So there was information around admins will be able to set bandwidth control policies, disable video when users are working in bandwidth constrained areas. This protects the reliability of the connection automatically based on where the users are located. Once users return to a location with better bandwidth, their video calling is restored. So that's great. That doesn't seem, this policy setting doesn't seem to be constrained to a user. It seems to be on a location. I can see the benefits if you do have some sites with bandwidth limits or limitations. One easy way would be to use these policies to disable video calls, so users can't use videos over sites with limited bandwidth or constraints. So we'll, it does remind me of Call It Mission Control that we used to have in Skype for Business and Link. Yeah. Dynamic E911 for US-based users. So Teams Phone will soon support Dynamic E911 for US-based users, detecting remote work location, or the ability to provide an editable location to alert personnel in the event of an emergency. So really important, I see this, particularly for working from home, remote working, hybrid work, ensuring that the location is correct, or users can input their location, or can detect their remote work location. And I think there's a updated law coming in next year, so I think this feature is required for that in the US. And also alerting personnel in the event of emergency as well. Oh, SIP Gateway. This one I'm really excited for. This is where you'll be able to bring compatible SIP phones and use those as a phone with Teams. So we've got, now this will become generally available this month, so November it says here. Could change, but that's what we've got so far for compatible SIP phone models. So we've got Cisco IP phones with MPP firmware. That's the 6821, 7800 series and the 8800 series. So selected handsets, and make sure you've got the correct firmwares on these. You've got Polycom SIP phones, the VVX series 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, etc. Yealink T20, T30, T40, and T50, and audio codes as well, the 400 HD series. So a number of handset vendors there offering. So we've got to make sure. So this will offer core Teams calling functionality on legacy phones from Cisco, Poly, Yealink, and audio codes. Now this will bring core Teams calling functionality. And these capabilities include inbound, outbound calls, call transfer, audio conference, dial into meetings, device-based, do not disturb, and voicemail with message rating indicators. So it'll be interesting to see when this does launch, that there will be the ability to bring these handsets and connect them and bring them into Teams. So if you've got a customer with, or you have a large number of these handsets, you'd be able to bring compatible handsets. You need to make sure these are compatible with SIP Gateway. So the right model, series, firmware, I would think. Or yeah, you'll be able to use these phones as an interim solution, perhaps whilst replacing a lookout. Now, these phones using SIP Gateway and using these compatible SIP phones won't give you the feature-rich functionality of a Teams phone device. So you won't get the Teams phone display, the UI. It would use the manufacturer's UI in there, and it's more of an interop measure where you can bring these handsets to use with Teams. So I think that's very welcome, and I do see a large use case for this. So this section is where we recap last month. So this would be September. So there is some highlights here from September. We have got Operator Connect GA was mentioned again. Managed SBC by Metaswitch. Team calling plans, market expansion was mentioned again. There's some new Teams phone features to modernize calling, so seamlessly move calls between devices. So I do use that quite a lot. So moving between mobile, and desktop. And that's really cool. Identify and reject spam. There was a number of devices highlights as well. Walkie-talkie on phones is coming. SIP Gateway general availability in November. Yeah. The Logi Dock, that looks a really interesting device where it kind of an all-in-one device that you can have on your desk to connect. So go check that out. Branch office survivability for phones. So that's one I've heard. Remote sign out from Teams Admin Center, log connection enhancements, common area phone offering enhancements as well. So all of these, there is updates and news on all of these in September. So go check out the Teams blog. What's new in September would contain more details on that. So next we'll go into the roadmap. The Microsoft 365 roadmap. This has been filtered by what's relevant to Teams calling, and this is looking at roadmap changes compared to last month. So we do have some new items that have been added to the public roadmap. So support for live captions for Teams on VDI for Azure Virtual Desktop, or VDI for VMware, and dynamic emergency calling for work from home for VDI on VMware as well. So some 3 new items that have been added this last month. Number of in-development items there, and we spoke about some of these. So branch office survivability in Teams Phone, walkie-talkie on Teams Phone, transcriptions for one-to-one calls, support for live captions across a number of different VDI platforms. Devices, looks like there's some in-development items for Teams Rooms, role-based access scoping on device categories. That sounds interesting. So go check out the M365 roadmap for any of these items in here. So there is some items that are launched. So Better Together for calls on Teams Phones, we spoke about that. Better Together feature for calls on Teams Phones display, Operator Connect, spam call notifications is launched. 3 items rolling out for calling, music on hold for consultant transfer, one-to-one calling in Safari web browser, and walkie-talkie on iOS preview. And so that's rolling out. And there's a lot of rolling out items for Microsoft Teams Rooms, including meetings roster updates, room video fits to frame, support for large meetings controls, lock meeting support, live reactions, pin multiple video streams, presenter mode support, spotlight multiple video streams, meeting room capacity notifications. So a lot of items there rolling out, and I suspect coming soon to Microsoft Teams Rooms. On Windows, looks like we've got a lot of items there on Windows. So check out for those coming soon. Hopefully in next month or future episodes, we can talk about those in a bit more. And one item launched for device category, Microsoft Teams Rooms on Surface Hub is launched. So that's great. If you've got a Surface Hub, you can now use the Microsoft Teams Rooms on your Surface Hub. So that's all I've got for recapping last month's what's new in Teams calling. Thank you very much for joining this. This will be a monthly series to recap the previous month's items in calling. I'll also do a separate one for meetings as well. So I hope you found this useful, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.